You are not lost. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed, and you don't need to start over. You just need to be reminded of who you already are. Hi, my name is Carmi, and this is Inside Edition, your reminder that there's nothing wrong with you. You're just human, and unfortunately, so am I. So, chances are that maybe you're dealing with a lot of change in your life right now, or just a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, loss of routine, and that is a lot. That is a lot. You are overstimulated. You're distracted. Essentially, Shadi, you got emotional ADHD, okay? And I'm gonna prescribe you some emotional Adderall. That's what we're gonna do today. Got it? So, during these times, it can just be so easy to forget any ounce of evidence that you are significant in any way. It's like suddenly you forget about any moment that anyone has ever cared about you, and every kind thing that has ever been said about you just suddenly never existed. And perhaps every meaningful experience in your life was just fabricated from your imagination. And you've convinced yourself that this is it. You know, that maybe this whole time you have been delusional, and now you're finally waking up to reality, and the reality is that suddenly you are just nothing. But, pardon my French, be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real. I gotta break the news to you, okay? It's low-key the other way around. What you're experiencing right now is not it. This is not reality, and believe me, because I have been there many, many, many times, and I know how it feels in the moment. It feels so real, but allow me to be very deadass with you, as someone who has survived it and is now currently not in that situation. All you gotta do right now is take a deep breath for me, okay? And listen to my hopefully calming voice. I don't know, I got a comment on a TikTok that said, "Why is your voice so deep?" Because I have a pair of balls to support my big fat wiener. Just kidding. I don't, okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything though. I'm not gonna say, "You can do it. I believe in you." No, we're not doing that. I'm gonna tell you what actually matters, and we're gonna work together here. We're gonna retrace our steps and figure out where along the lines you lost yourself. And we're gonna have a reunion party, and we're gonna celebrate, okay? Because we're gonna find you. We're gonna find you. We're gonna remind you of who the frick you are, okay? Because right now it probably feels like this is it. This is the end. But it's not. The show is not over. I don't hear anybody clapping. Do you? No. That would be a pretty shitty way for it to end, you know, with no applause. That sucks, because it's not over. You're just in that weird little awkward moment where, you know, the curtains are malfunctioning and mid-show, and all we gotta do is flip a switch because the show goes on. A quote I really love is, "In the end, everything will be okay. And if it's not, then it's not the end." You know, when I'm in these stages of my life, I literally just forget that I'm a human being and I'm not broken. I am just like everybody else. And, you know, I think I'm like some special human that's defected. I'm some prototype that got released from the lab on accident. But I'm not. You are not. This is all part of being human, okay? And you're still learning. You're still growing. You're allowed to mess up. You're allowed to be so frustrated because life feels so challenging. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to make mistakes. Actually, you are more than allowed. I'm encouraging you to. Use it as an opportunity, as a lesson, as a learning experience. Use it so you can grow and become stronger and wiser and more resilient. And failing will begin to frustrate you less and inspire you more. Not that you're motivated to fail, but you're motivated to learn and grow and get stronger. It's like Minecraft. I'd say it's like Minecraft, because when you get blown up by a creeper, you know, you kind of lose all your stuff and you feel empty, right? You lose everything. But the game isn't over. You respawn and you kind of have to come back to yourself and collect your stuff again, maybe. But just like in Minecraft, the more you kind of take risks and explore an adventure and maybe die or fail, we can say that, the more you advance in the game and you get stronger armor, stronger weapons, more achievements, more resources. So those who never fail never learn. That sounds like something that Buddha would have said. Maybe he did say that already and I'm not original, but I don't think Buddha came up with a Minecraft analogy, so who really wins here, right? The first step, though, of accepting yourself is to accept that failure is inevitable. It's gonna happen. It's the same with rejection or people not accepting you. It's gonna happen. If everybody accepted you, that would be scary. You'd have nobody that you could trust. And you need rejection and failure to put you in the direction that's just most aligned for you. It guides you into a life that will be the most fulfilling life for you. Because you are you. You're not the person whose day in my life vlogs that you watch on social media. You're not the friend that you're low-key secretly jealous of. You're not anybody else but you. You're not even the version of you who you were a year ago, a week ago, even a second ago. Right now, you're in this moment. You have the gift of the present, right? You can decide at any moment who you want to be. It's kind of relieving, honestly, to know that who you are or who you were a second ago is not the person who you are right now. She's gone. She's never happening again. She's not coming back. You are right here in this moment. You can decide in the present moment who you want to be, right? But better yet, who you already are. You don't have to be anything more than who you already are. You just have to believe it. And I encourage you, after watching this, to do any little thing for yourself that feels familiar, comforting, but most importantly, rewarding, okay? But in a healthy way. Not even like super challenging at all. Like something that you know you can feel rewarded by. Because, I don't know, sometimes I'll go for just a 10-minute walk outside. Or even like just 5 minutes. Or just walk to your mailbox, you know? Anything so I can just realize like, oh, true. I am a human. I have leg. I go outside. Sun feel nice. Not so bad. Maybe life not so ass. You know, I really want to talk here about accepting yourself and your insecurities as well, because you don't have to like what you're insecure about in order to accept it. You just have to stop arguing with it. Arguing with the existence of your insecurities, that's what hurts you. It's not the actual insecurity itself. If you think about it, most people aren't insecure because of what they are. They're insecure because they're constantly trying to not be it. I just want to make sure that you understand the definition of acceptance, because if you think about when you accept an apology, it's not like you all of a sudden admire this person's actions or opinions, or let alone even agree with them, you know? You just accept it and move on, because if you were to keep fighting it, that would be miserable. It wouldn't be fun. It's easier to just accept it rather than keep fighting it. And it's the same thing when you accept your insecurities. If you just accept it and move on, you can just go enjoy life now. Just because you don't favor something doesn't mean you still can't go out and enjoy your own life, you know? And honestly, all that matters and all that you're required to do at the end of the day is just be a human and to experience life. And how you decide to define the experience of life is what's going to determine what you'll get out of it, you know? You can't argue with what already is. I mean, I guess you can, but you're never going to win that argument, and that's not fun. So accepting is essentially realizing that you aren't required to keep fighting or even to fight at all. And it's much more peaceful and productive and enjoyable that way, you know, when you stop trying to win an argument that was never yours to argue with. If you let your insecurities define your life, then of course you're gonna feel like you're failing in life and that you're miserable, because that shouldn't determine how you get to experience your own life. They shouldn't. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, and your experience of life is coming to an end, you're not going to look back and appreciate how great your life was because of the qualities that you had. No, you're going to look back and appreciate the moments that you experienced, the memories that you cherished, the people that you loved, what you learned, what you accomplished, And all of those things are things that you are capable of doing in your life despite having insecurities. That's just something that you have to realize and accept, because yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it sucks to have insecurities, but that shouldn't define how you get to live your life. I think a lot of people also think that they have to be confident in order to accept themselves or accept their insecurities. Confidence isn't even defined that way. Confidence is just being willing to be seen while also imperfect. Because there's no such thing as perfect. You can't be perfect. You don't have to be perfect in order to be confident. I think it's the other way around. You have to just accept that you are not perfect and be completely okay with that, because that shouldn't define how you get to live your own life, Life should be fun because life gets to be fun, not because you have to have certain qualities in order to enjoy life. It doesn't work that way. You get to enjoy life because life can be enjoyed, And every confident person still has insecurities. They just decided that, yeah, all right, that's all just part of the package. Anyway, moving on. That's what confidence is. It's not loving every part of yourself, eliminating all of your insecurities. It's just not letting them run your entire life. Insecurities, they usually come from just being very perceptive, being very observant of yourself, caring about connections. It just means you care a lot. You're very emotionally aware. And the problem isn't having those insecurities. The problem is believing that it means something about your worth. It says nothing about your worth. Your worth will show up in your actions, your effort, your attitude. That's really it. You might be hesitant to accept yourself as you already are because maybe you still want to grow, you still want to improve, and it feels like giving up on that. But actually the complete opposite happens once you accept yourself, because growth out of self-hatred is exhausting. It's so heavy. And growth out of acceptance is so much lighter. It's more sustainable, You don't stop improving once you accept yourself. Life will just stop feeling so heavy, and you can actually carry it now. And it's just a lot easier that way. You'll do things that actually feel good to you and that are aligned with you. It feels like maybe you're giving up on something because you're motivated by your own self-hatred, but that's when things just drain you entirely. It's also important to realize that you don't need to wait for a moment of feeling ready or healed enough to go live your life. That moment doesn't exist. You can't wait for some sort of confidence or certainty or perfection, some internal green light. There's no internal green light. You just gotta go, okay? I don't care if you don't feel ready. I don't care if you feel nervous, you're scared, you're anxious. Just do it. Because the clarity, the certainty, the okay, that'll come after you do it. It'll come after your actions. You're not gonna know before. It'll come afterwards. You are not uncomfortable because you are wrong. You are uncomfortable because you are a human, just like everybody else, but you're expecting yourself to not be. But you're just a human, okay? We have our ups, we have our downs, we have our moments, but we learn and we grow all throughout our life. It's a very continuous process. We're gonna be learning the entire way through. Even in your last breath, you're gonna learn something new, okay? And you can always get more time, more opportunities, more confidence, maybe even, but you can't get back the moment of the present. And that's such a gift. That's something that you really do have to appreciate, because those moments when you weren't actually there and you were just in your head negotiating your own worth, you can't get that moment back. And the present is such a gift. And I want you to appreciate that and to appreciate your own life, because life is a gift. Life is a gift, and it's your gift. That's why they call it the present. I hate that quote. It's so corny. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. You are who you are, and who you are is amazing because you are amazing, and you have to believe that. Everybody on earth is amazing. Well, there are some pieces of shit, but I don't think you are if you're watching this video, all right? I'm blessing you with amazing energy, but you don't even need it because you got it already, okay? You don't even need that. You already know you're amazing, okay? But let me give you my final thoughts here, okay? You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not late. You're just doing a little thing called being a human being. You're conscious and alive, and you're probably overthinking, but you're a human, so that's very on brand for you, okay? I do it too. Your insecurities are not stop signs. Don't stop at them. They're just like little speed bumps. Slow down a little bit and be like, oh, there's my insecurity. But then you just keep going, okay? You do not park the car and stay there. No. It's just a little oopsie. There's my insecurity. They do not get to live in your head rent free, okay? Maybe they can like pass by, they can visit, but they don't get to sleep there. Nope. They're just waving. They get to say hi and then they get to keep walking. You don't need to be more confident to live freely or even to feel ready. There's no such thing as feeling ready. Ready is a decision. You decide to be ready. You can't feel it. You just decide. You don't need confidence, really. You just need to have courage. You need to be more willing to be seen, more willing to experience life for what it is, because it's a gift. It's fun. It's the present. Present moment is great. It's fun. All right. Who cares about confidence? Confidence is like a myth. Confidence comes and goes. All right. We can't always be confident, but you can always have courage and self-belief and power, because you have the power, but that comes from you. It doesn't come from me. I'm speaking these calm words into your ear, but ultimately you have to decide. This is your life. However you want to experience your life, that comes from you. You have to determine that yourself, all right? If life starts to feel heavy again, that's usually your sign to kind of take a breather and ask yourself, like, am I making this too deep? Am I making this deeper than it actually is? You know? Because most of the time, yes, you are. Probably. Unless you're not. But most of the time, yes. You're not a problem to solve. You are a human to experience life. Actually, you're just a baddie with a brain. That's all you are, okay? And I hope now you are reminded of who you are. Just like the rest of us, you gotta have those moments sometimes to just come back to yourself. It'll happen, but it's just a moment. And moments will pass, and moments will come, and moments will bless you, and moments will be fun. Some of them suck and feel like shit, but those moments honestly make the lovely, beautiful moments so much more lovely and beautiful, because you're like, oh, that moment that feels like shit, ooh, but this one is pretty freaking nice, you know? You need those. It's like yin and yang, I think. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it. Thank you so much for hearing me out today. It means so much to me, and I hope that you had so much fun in this reunion party. This was so fun to celebrate with you. I'm glad that you've reached the end of this video. I hope you play some really fun, awesome songs after this, and you dance and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I accept you. I accept every single insecurity, and point at them and be like, I accept you. I don't favor you, but I accept you. And I'm gonna have fun and dance and play your favorite song, okay? Because that's what I'm gonna do. Just me here after this, all right? I love you so much. Bye.